We're back, baby. The end of Christmas and the start of the new year tends to see a spike in suicides. I know, I just said suicide instead of unalive, like all the other cowards on this webzone. Depression is a funny thing, in that it's an absolute downer. Around half of the people who have depression get it genetically, meaning that they're often depressed no matter how good their lives actually are. And since it does feel like we're tumbling ever further into dystopia with every passing trip round the sun, it's not like things are good anyway for most people. But that being said, if you feel like painting your walls with the blood from your skull, I can think of a few reasons why you should probably reconsider. Being alive is, it's alright, you know? I mean, one reason to stay alive is I've got a big video about Star Wars out next week. And then a week or two after that, there's an even bigger one about the rise of fascism. Actually, wait, that probably won't cheer you up. Although you might feel like a burden to your friends and your family, chances are those people would probably prefer it if you were still breathing. You might not want to stay on this mortal plane, but you'll be leaving behind an Earth-sized planet's worth of people, and statistically, at least some of them will care about you. You dying is probably gonna hurt them, and you don't want to hurt the people you care about, do you? And even if you think everybody hates you, you're probably wrong. It's very easy to overthink about what others might think of you. And at the very least, even the people who don't like you that much, they still don't want you to die. Also, depending on how you plan on cancelling your life subscription, your body might end up getting found by someone else. And do you really want your body to be found by your parents or partner or loved ones or friends or concubines? Even if it was a complete stranger who finds your body, that's still gonna fuck them up. Have you ever seen a corpse before? Because I have, and they are more haunting than words can describe. Fuck me. With that in mind, maybe you'll pivot to jumping off a cliff or pushing yourself into a meat grinder. However, here's a horrifying statistic for you. Roughly a fifth of all suicide attempts end with a person surviving but coming out of it permanently damaged. This is a cheery video to start the new year, innit? Ellie Andrew attempted suicide by jumping off of a multi-storey car park, which she survived but left her wheelchair bound and in chronic pain. After seeing the effect her attempt had on her family and seeing the damage it had done to herself, she now speaks out and warns about the dangers suicide can bring. Which I know is a dumb sentence, the dangers suicide can bring, but surviving an attempt but coming out of it much worse off is a real danger that you should think about. If you really are too impatient to get into heaven, then instead of splatting yourself into a fine goo, consider a more gentle approach. Completely unrelated, but did you know that most people who die from carbon monoxide poisoning don't even realise something is wrong until the moment they slip into their dreams? Forever. If you are going out, I probably would recommend a nice long drive within the confines of a small garage. But even then, I still don't think you should do this either, because since you're already willing to throw your life away, why not do it without the death part? Reinvent yourself. Move to Thailand and start a strip club. Become a professional poker player. Move to the Nepalese mountains and become a monk. Well, sure, we'd all love to do that, but you need money for that sort of shit. Fuck me. So, you're dying, apparently. Max out some credit cards and party away like there's no tomorrow, baby. Or build a hut in the woods and steal supplies from local shops like this guy managed to do for a crazy long amount of time. Humans are kind of amazing, and even one person can get a lot more done than you probably think. Sure, you might not be able to have a perfect life, but you can certainly scramble enough resources together to have a better one. And if you do decide to live in a hut in the woods, or just move to somewhere different like Bradford or Perth, then maybe you'll realise that actually things weren't that bad before, thinking about it. You'd be surprised what a change in circumstances can do for your outlook. I was depressed, then I started a YouTube channel, and I'm doing a lot better now that hundreds of people call me names all the time. Wait. Improving your life isn't easy, particularly when you're depressed. Depression does more or less result in the inability to do anything, but since killing yourself does take a lot of effort, maybe trying to take up knitting first wouldn't be such a bad idea. Although you might be able to improve your life, there is still the problem that the world does seem to be fairly fucked. Well, if that's really what's getting you down, then you should consider After the death of Mr. No Claims at the hands of Luigi Mangione, a lot of influencers were quick to condemn the violence. I'm not one of them. Pacifism is nice in theory, but World War II wasn't going to end over a pint and a hug. You can get way more done killing 100 billionaires than gathering a billion people. If the entire population of India were to come out in peaceful protest and say, hey, can we end climate change please? Do you know what the reaction from the 1% in America and China would be? What? I don't give a fuck about that. Just take me to my island full of underage girls. So if you are gonna kill yourself, at least go out in a blaze of glory. Become an angel of death, righting the wrongs of the system that has fucked you so dearly. If you live in the UK, I'd recommend visiting Sweaty Andrew for a slice of pizza. Alternatively, anyone influential in media with the last name Murdoch would do nicely. If global warming gets worse, which it will, that's going to result in the deaths of an unimaginable amount of people. Completely unrelated, did you know that only 57 companies are linked to 80% of greenhouse gas emissions since 2016? I presume you know how to Google who is the CEO of Shell. Just do me a favour, when you're out doing the work that God is too afraid to do herself, point the cops to this channel. It'll really boost me in the algorithm. The main reason why I think you shouldn't unalive yourself is because we're all going to die anyway. Basically, the entirety of your existence is utterly meaningless, as is the accomplishments of our entire species. Sure, you could freak out at the fact that literally nothing matters, or you could quit being a sado and take it as a sign of encouragement. Nothing is more liberating than accepting that everyone will eventually be dust in the wind. So, why be anxious or depressed about stuff? Run down the Royal Mile in a chicken outfit shouting fuck George Osborne. Just stop getting so bothered about what other people might think. Besides, this is all probably a simulation anyway, and none of us are actually real. I mean, it does sort of seem the polite thing to do, assuming that other people actually exist. But you don't know that. Why not just assume that literally every other person is completely vacant on the inside? As if you're talking to ChatGPT or someone from Essex. No matter how miserable you are, at least while you're alive you have agency, whereas if you're dead, you no longer exist. And that's just a bit of a waste. You only get one life, and we'll all be dead in the end anyway, so you may as well see it through to the end, and live it the way you want until you finally kick the bucket, either natural causes or in a horrible skiing accident. In short, Happy New Year. Thanks to my favourite season, Caleb Guitar, Creepy Bugs, Not the Joker, Almost Jesus, the only one who actually watches the Patreon videos, This Utter Legend, the one with a super long name, the one with a vaguely Christian name, and the one who sounds like an absolute badass. I've been neglecting the patrons a bit, but after this month it is gonna go absolutely wild over there. You don't wanna miss it. Hope you have good holidays. See you very soon.